this is a team that has a lot of synergy here, but they're at the Demon's Dojo, right? We all know this is probably going to be the most, if not the most sought after draw spot on NA next to Flooded Frogs, but Flooded Frogs will likely, you know, be claimed in its own right. We'll see here in the weeks to come, but for now, we expect a lot of action here.
Yeah, depending on the loot, this could be a little bit of a mismatch because you got to take note. Hound, Aiden, Hyar, they actually landed at Demon's Dojo. They got the majority of that loot, but Beast Champo and his teammate were landing on the outskirts. They took the mountains. Now the elevation is working against them. You see the pressure coming down. Shields being ripped off Beast, and he's still using the HP for the medkits to make sure he's into tip-top shape because they have no more big pots. They cannot get to 200 HP and shields.
A bit more of a fight here. Encrypted. Death and Sales seem to be taking the lead here in the first exchanges for themselves. Very, very critical moment right now to find this damage, get these points here to start things off, and all of a sudden we're watching our early leaders start to take away. This is at the Kappa Kappa factory. Again, another drop that we do expect to have heavy contestation throughout this day here. Back on over to Ammunition Company's not looking good here as he's down. It's up to Braids here to clutch up. Seems like they've traded on both sides.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous team right here because even when we've seen them in duos, I know it's a little bit of a different format, but Visual and Braids, they're one of those teams that can surprise. They can shock the world. They can win a game, and it looks like they're taking it to this other team. That's Colazo, the OG on the other side. He's dealing with a lot of pressure, and now they're taking the multiple angles, and that is just one too much to overcome.
A big fan of Braids here. Like how they play this out. Very smart, taking good angles here. And all of a sudden they took what was a 2v2 and made it look as if they were just solos on the other side of the barrel. Very well played as our early leaders are starting to run down the stretch here. Batman, Booga, Iamzo, and Clicks have a nice even spread, but Batman, Booga, no fear in his heart as he is standing toe-to-toe on the low ground. This team's watching from above, so not too much of a dangerous spot for him to be in just yet.
Yeah, and I think they know a lot of the teams towards the northwest part of the map, if the zone does pull away from there, it's hard for them to get Surge while maintaining their position in terms of rotating. And that's where they tend to take advantage of a lot of those teams, whether if it's direct fight or setting up just like that to try to get Surge. Others taking a different approach. You see the box-to-box, Tony, Zeus, Creon. They're more of an aggressive team as well. They're going against teams that they can look at as, I wouldn't say rookies, not really making it this far in this career before, but we've seen rookies shine before.
Definitely. Tony, Creon, and Zeus is actually very interesting that they've decided to rotate into the Demon's Dojo, knowing that there was going to be 3 teams landing here, and where they should have an advantage, things are quickly turning around. What seems to be not in their favor right now. They're forced defensively, but into the box. Zeus gets deleted here. It does look like Eddie, Nix, and Licks are just a cut above the rest here, but trades are happening on both sides. This is a very important one-on-one for Eddie to win. He pulls the blade out and starts going to town. This Typhoon is definitely dangerous.
I'm not going to say that I haven't dealt with the Typhoon Blade before in close proximity. It just gets so chaotic and hectic. It's sometimes hard to hit those shots no matter how good of a player you are. And Eddie's doing a good job of taking advantage of that and maintaining his distance to move, but it finally got cut short. He finally gets knocked down. Lix is by himself, but he takes advantage of the damage that was already there. Down goes Creon, so an even trade.
Big exchanges here, but no, the pickup might come through. Lix has got to find him. Surely he's got some visual cues here, but not enough for him to know what's going on. It seems like he's going to back off, try to play for the disengage here. Again, he's got the Typhoon Blade, so shouldn't have too much of an issue. Of course, using that extended stamina, being able to dash away, kinetics in hand as well, so a lot at play here. I'm curious to see if Tony and Zeus will push now. But no, they're going to be content, it seems.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to beat him to that reboot van. They know Lix is already down. They know that he potentially has to go back for the reboot cards as well. So they're just trying to cut him off on this rotation, get the reboot first, knowing that even if they do get damage, it's not going to be a lot.
I'm thinking Lix is going to try to go for the knock here out the sky. Get ready. Anything can happen, especially with that extra elevation there. But no, back on over to Reet. Surprise contested as well, right? We didn't expect him to have so much resistance here at the Brutal Boxcar. Typically with a notable trio like this, they'll get a drop to themselves, but no eliminations means that, Jacob, they didn't have to fight too hard for their drop. It seems like they're very much comfortable here.
Yeah, they either pushed that team off completely or they just switched up their drops. That gives Vert and Bryce all this space. They can take that whole mountain range. And this is what Vivid was actually alluding to when he was showing that map and showing the teams that were actually spread out. They can take so much space over here on this side of the map. And then while other teams in certain drop spots don't have the metal, Brutal Boxcars is a spot with a lot of metal. Teams will tend to rotate in this direction, especially if the zone keeps pulling them and forcing them to.
Metal always so scarce to get a hold of, especially given some of the changes we've seen, kind of teams go back and forth. But right now, it's going to be a matter of getting into a strong position. Death and Company being contested, you can see that they have a bit of an elimination lead over the players in the area here. However, that doesn't give them full advantage over what could be storm damage. That's always going to be high on the list here to make sure. Side actually sticking by the time things are all said and done. But that is the question: who will win game number 1 and send themselves straight to finals out of the first group? Out comes the Void Oni mask for the rotates here for Braids, Diminish, and Visuals. Also keep in mind to the fundamentals here: check every bush with the shotgun shot. No need to take a risk here and walk yourself blindly into an ambush. And this is a good spot right here to be in. Early rotates to get a little bit of high ground. They want to continue to make their way center, more or less, here.
Yeah, that's a team to when they're positioning. You can see the fishing rod in their inventory. They're going to look to kind of box up, position around water, so they can continue to fish those shield fish, the floppers, late into the game. Other teams, their surge bases, they're trying to go ahead and utilize them as much as possible before they're forced to rotate in towards the zone. And it's kind of like centering up a little bit more towards the eastern lean, but overall centered up towards the north side of the zone.
You can see how the stats are really highlighting the fact that there are plenty of teams here who have experienced their finals, but more importantly, experienced a win when the win condition mattered to send themselves to finals. But that is a minority of the server population so far, so there are going to be some big celebratory wins here today to come. Some history being made for some players. Curve, Tyler, and Shadow, team that lands, of course, to that Flooded Frogs, given that this is the Group 1's setting here. Does seem to have a very strong loadout, as we'd expect of a team that has the Flooded Frogs themselves.
Yeah, this is a team I feel like I expect, whether if it's a Victory Royale or through that top 5, that they should make it to the Major 1 finals today. Hopefully I don't curse them for that, but they've just been so consistent. Even with the top teams, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, them, Acorn's team in the lobby as well, they're still finding a way to place into the top 5. Now you take out some of those teams, shift them around due to the groups, and now they have a better drop spot on top of that. I feel like they have success written all over them.
And Shadow's a great player. He's done very, very well in play-in stages, but here's a team we all want to keep our tabs on. Batman, Booga, Clix, and Yamzo. One of the few trios that have actually more or less broadcasted their entire journey live for the world to watch and follow along with. This is a team that has 3 very strong leaders, I would say, and the comms get crazy once we start breaking their way to endgame. Here it is, though.
Saw Creon trying to get rebooted back. But you can see on the other side, Eddie's team, they're back as well. Rotating kind of together, parallel a lot of the way. Pump Power, another spot where a lot of teams kind of converge to try to gather as much metal as possible. And with the zone pulling in this direction, it is going to pretend to get a little bit more crowded due to the mountain range just east of it as well.
We'll have to see here. Zone's going to pop now. Pump Power still in play here. Tony, Zeus, and Creon not feeling the congestion here too much. They want to start playing for a little bit more center zone. Let's jump in with Mason and company, though. Already on the move as well. One of the few teams outside of the bubble right now. And off they go with a nice little wide rotate. Notice, we're going to see this a lot, though. Wind Spirits not necessarily going to be the option of choice here, but the Waters instead. And here it is. Time to catch a medallion. Which one of these trios are going to be the first to go for it? I mean, Jacob, what do you think?
Now, I'm thinking, like, who's going to be brave? I think it's Visual, Braids, and Amish will at least try to make it up towards the top. They've been the most aggressive so far in this lobby, or at least the most aggressive that we've been blessed to see. And it does look like they're going to be the first ones to make a move. The islands are so spread out, you can still make your way up there. No intention to try to fight the boss, just so you can have a better advantage to try to get Surge. We've seen it a few times, but not too much.
Yeah, it's just so risky coming up here for obvious reasons. If you start to get that focus of the boss and it isn't your intent to actually finish it off, we'll see what happens here shortly. Other teams are all coming up. It does seem like they all want a little bit of that visual advantage that we just talked about here.
I wonder if they know they're a duo up there, because they can try to steal that one away. I'm trying to look at the mini-map right now. It does look like they may be trying to make their way off, give it up. They're a duo. They see a trio on the other side. You may not necessarily know who it is either. If they're an aggressive team, that's just something that you may not want to fight at this stage in the game.
Somehow Exoff already 5 uses of his Oni mask. So we're not even really deep into the mid-game just yet. Things are just getting started here. Look at this super wide spread from Aiden Hire and Hound, our Demon's Dojo team, as the zones continue to kind of favor this area, and they just have this on lock. Very, very reminiscent to early chapter days when we had that big volcano in the silo here. Almost feels very, very similar in a sense.
Yeah, that big battle off spawn, so they were able to get those 3 eliminations, getting contested. That kind of allowed them to kind of loot up, build the perfect structure, and kind of stay over here without worrying about Surge. With the zone pulling over here, there's so many teams that are going to try to rotate towards that north, make their way in from the west as well, and that gives them all the opportunity in the world. It's just all about where it pulls from here is going to be the big question.
I was going to say, it makes sense as to why Hound was down here. He's just fishing this entire time. Team watching the high ground, fishing for Storm Surge tags, of course.
Uh-oh. Focus was a solo for a quick second. Does look like Pandy is trying to make his way on over along with Owl. They get the short end of the stick when it comes to the pull, just so a lot of other teams do as well all around him. It is going to pull all the way towards the north with the eastern side, so you got to remember that team towards Demon's Dojo, Hound and his trio, they must have the best position on the map right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Look at this. The angles from Owl, Pilot, and Andy is how they pick up their first elimination there. Out to Kale, who's out of position. And Pilot had a little bit of the low ground here. All of a sudden, they've attracted this trio next door. It does seem to be more of a desperate fight from AO and team here, likely because they know they're going to have problems with damage in the later half of this